Tennis, a sport of huge highs and devastating lows.
Travelling the world playing tennis is a hell of a job.
There's no off-season, really.
You can be playing the next week, you could be playing the next day.
But what goes into every top tennis player
Lots of pressure and loads of expectation
before they even reach the top 100 or 200?
Once you feel like you can mentally compete, you're almost halfway there.
What does it take to become the best?
Your life becomes tennis, it revolves around tennis, it's 52 weeks a year.
We all sacrifice our lives.
Behind the scenes with Britain's future game changers.
People just see the end product.
They don't see the tough times.
All these guys at the top are willing to do whatever it takes, and if you aren't, you might not get as far as your talent deserves to.
From the young guns, Ben Bartram, Felix Gill, Sonny Kurtal and Arthur Ferry, to doubles specialists Ali Collins and Freya Christie, and those poised to enter their prime as a player. Alistair Gray, Eden Silva, Ryan Peniston and Billy Harris. This is Beyond the Baseline.
The lowest level of professional events are ITFs. That's a $15,000 total prize money event or $25,000 event, and then after that you have the ATP Challengers, which is like the second tier of men's tennis, and then the third tier, the one that everyone's trying to get to, is the ATP Tour. On the women's side, the ITFs run all the way up to $100,000 events, and then beyond that is the WTA Tour. A lot of players playing at this stage are players that are at the beginning of their career that are learning to play professional tennis. As you move into the professional game, you're playing for money, you're playing for points, you're playing for your career, and that's kind of where you hone your craft.
As a professional British tennis player, time is split between life on tour, training near home, and sessions at the LTA's National Tennis Centre. Physical conditioning is crucial in the modern game, with power becoming a non-negotiable for every player. At the National Tennis Centre, Eden Silva hits the gym as she continues her drive to break into the world's top 100. In Brighton, Sonny Kurtal enjoys the familiarity of home with a club and coach she has spent over 15 years with.
She used to be too scared to play.
So sharp.
The hat wouldn't come above this.
And in Spain, young prospect Felix Gill has chosen a different approach, testing himself in a new environment. He splits his time between the UK and Valencia, allowing easy access to the tour in Europe and a warmer training climate, whilst retaining his support base at the National Tennis Centre.
With the ability you have on the net and on those balls, you need to waste more time on the net every time you can.
I'm Felix Gill, I'm 21 years old and I'm a professional tennis player. You kind of never know what you want to be when you're a little kid, really. So I don't think I kind of realised until about 15, 16, Junior Davis Cup, when I kind of started like seeing the higher level, and I was around kind of the best in the world. That's really when I kind of thought, yeah, this is quite good. Let's try and make a career out of this, and here we are.
On the ITF tour, I'd probably say that the lifestyle is very similar to, backpacking. The way my brother went around Southeast Asia, there were a lot of similarities to how I used to get around on the ITF tour. As you move higher up the rankings and the prize money gets better, you can do it in a much more professional way, and it does get easier in that sense. I'd say the glamour probably starts at the ATP events, whereas the futures can be a bit rough sometimes.
I needed a new coach at the start of the year. Me and my manager thought, why not push out of my comfort zone and go and do the Spanish route. We started working with Victor in about February this year. He's amazing. We have a really good relationship off the court.
Make noise when you hit. That's it. Vamos.
It's strictly pro on court. He's been amazing with me and really, really, really good coach.
Well done, well done. Now here, remember to the same close stand every time you can. The body weight, you need to transfer towards that way.
There's different kind of programs with the LTA. I'm on the professional scholarship program, which helps a lot with funding and coaches and gym and physios. Also money to travel really happy for them to be backing me and have that trust and support. And they've been amazing with me.
I'm Rachel Noonan and I'm the Performance Lifestyle Lead at the LTA. Generally our support for players, they will have an allocated member of our team who will essentially be a regular check-in for them, maybe to do with well-being, maybe injury, and can help them work with their coach and navigate through those challenges and issues.
In Spain, Felix has the support not just of his coaching team, but childhood friend Ben, who joins him during what is a challenging time in this young player's career.
So his dad passed away last May, so it's quite like an emotional time for like Felix, his family, and everyone involved.
It's not been easy at all. It's been horrible at times. You kind of think, oh, I haven't spoken to him for 3 weeks, blah, blah, blah. And then it does hit you, and then you think, oh, I'm going to try and carry on here, and don't give yourself time and space.
He didn't really have that much time off, so literally after it happened in May, he had like 10 days off, I think, and then it was literally grasscourt season, so he just chose to just carry on, and fair play to him. Sorry. It's just surreal. Someone I've known, like for your own tennis, like growing up, playing at Wimbledon, and like it was proper like wholesome. It was big. Made second round of the men's doubles. So I think it started to hit him more now. So last week, the match, he was struggling.
Peter, is that ball different to the others? Not different, but same newness.
So he's been out here for like the last 4 weeks, and then before that he came home for literally 4 or 5 days.
How far?
Yes,
yeah, I know it's out.
He was really good off the court last week. I turned up 2 days before he played, but as soon as he went on the court, he just said he just wanted to get off.
Before I lost that identity, the fighting spirit and the will to work.
We had a good chat last week with Victor, like me and Felix, and I think it's looking a bit like more positive. So fingers crossed, this is a good week.
Like this, Felix. When I see you go to the net, I think, yeah, there he is.
He's stuck with me through the really tough times. He believed in me. He took me out on the court when I didn't want to. He pushed me.
Takeaway pizza.
You're serving really good, so take the chance for the next ball, for the next ball. I like what they say. Bravo, man.
Good luck this week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now that you're feeling good, try to aim here.
Yeah.
Okay, this instead of playing like this way a little bit, because if the ball will come here and look all the distance he needs to do.
Yeah.
With Felix preparing for tournament tennis on the Spanish clay, back home, attentions turn to the Lexus Nottingham Tennis Centre, where final preparations are underway for the first outdoor hardcourt event of the year.
About 12 years ago, an opportunity came up with the National Association, with the LTA, as a tournament director for pro events and national level events and junior international level events, and it was something that I quite like the sound of, and it's something I've been doing now since 2010.
Well, this is the World Tennis Tour, and this is a men's and ladies $25,000 event. So you've got some up-and-coming players playing this event, and they're looking to get their points. One of many events that are held around the world.
Morning, gents.
Oh, you're beautiful today. Good morning. Cheers.
There we go. There we go.
How are you today?
Smile for the camera, gents.
Are you well?
Yeah, all right. I'm just making sure that when the umpires come to court for matches, there's nothing untoward, like here, nothing more than just tidying the court up. That's purely about the fact that there was a different colour chair there, and everything's in position.
For some players, these LTA tournaments represent a first step on the professional ladder. For established tour players, they're a valuable opportunity to build a run of form with bigger stages in mind. One such player is Harriet Dart, who starts her campaign against Frenchwoman Marine Sostak.
I love playing at home. It's always seemed to bring the best out of me, whether that's been in an individual tournament or a team competition. There's also the added, I would say, pressure of it all being, a bit more under the microscope, a bit more under the spotlight.
Very good.
A commanding straight sets win sets the tone for Dart, who will go on to win the Nottingham title.
People definitely just see the end product, and the reality of it is there's a lot of work behind the scenes, not just from me but my team around me. To be able to put it together on the match court isn't always easy. You can go through many ups and downs through the season, and it's important to have that good base of people around you. Just keep plugging away and keep putting the work in, and good things can happen.
Whilst competition rolls into a third week in Nottingham, in Barcelona it's match day for Felix, who faces a Frenchman ranked 100 places above him as he looks for an upturn in his recent form.
Smallest in the back.
I kind of have an attitude where, win or lose, now I'm gonna put everything on the court. If I lose, I look back, think what happened, why did I lose? A lot of the time it's 1 or 2 or 3 points can decide the match, especially at this level, which is sometimes annoying when you lose, but when you win, it's a great feeling.
Set point Martineau in this first round match backs off for the forehand into the forehand of Gill, who's just a pace behind the baseline. He has to go back behind, and the forehand flows long from Gill. That's the set.
When you're in Spain, there's no giving up. That's pretty much the #1 rule.
Digging deep, Gill desperately searching for his level.
On the clay courts, it's very much long rallies, endurance. It's tough.
The forehand doesn't clear the net. Martineau marches on. Frustration for Gill after a promising start.
You have to be resilient to kind of find your way out of it after a few tough weeks, because you can play someone on their day one week and then you can have a bad day the next week and lose 2 first rounds in a row, and then you're panicking, or I've lost £2,000, or I've just wasted so much money. And that is hard because it's reality.
First 4 service games, he didn't have one chance to break, and then you disappeared, but completely disappeared.
Losing can be demoralising if you don't know how to cope with it, so working with someone who can help you realign your expectations and help you understand how to cope with the losing is really important, as well as the relentless nature of the constant tennis. But also, I think, understanding that you're not going to become the best overnight. A good coach will align your goals in terms of just seeing those small improvements match by match.
By suffering 2 or 3 matches, 4 matches, winning or losing, I don't care. But if you are able to suffer 1, 2, 3 matches in a row, 5 matches, then you will start to construct all these things we're speaking about. I saw something different today. Okay, man.
Encouraging signs despite defeat. And for Felix, the journey to climb the rankings continues.
I worked hard on myself, went running a lot. I started running before tennis sessions and then started building up.
Wow.
Before, I didn't want the ball to come back over the net. And then it started, and I was like, come on, give me another one, give me another one. It was with my sports psychologist, working a lot on fighting back after losing the first set, fighting back after losing the second set, and kind of my coaches, they could see a massive improvement in the will of me wanting to work. Made my first quarter-final of a challenger, which was really good to kind of feel, and the last few weeks have been the most important for me.
There's so much insecurity in tennis. Confidence fluctuates from week to week, form fluctuates from week to week. You know, the venues change, the hotels change, the conditions change, the balls change.
We love what we do. We wouldn't be doing it if we didn't, but it is definitely tough at times.
It's important to kind of have your own stable foundations to build your career from.
Here we go, come on. Here we go, come on.
To have a team in tennis is super important, and I'm lucky enough to have some really good people by my side.
There's so much going on outside of your team that you kind of need a little sort of anchor to be able to go back to when things are going wrong. That's the whole life of a professional tennis player.
I'm Sonny Cartel, I'm 21 and I'm a British professional tennis player. Don't know what you're going to ask.
Talk to us about your dad. He's quite a big tennis fan, right?
Yeah, I've never actually spoken about it, but he loves Roger Federer way too much. I get messages from him every day of like Federer's highlights, like his top 10 best shots. And now he's starting to send them to my coach as well.
Yeah, ridiculous. All I get every day is memes, Federer memes.
It's absolutely crazy.
Brighton, home to Sonny Cartal and the club where she first found tennis.
She just used to be too scared to play at the start.
I was so shy, I wouldn't
But
say
used to,
anyway.
the hat wouldn't come above this. When she was talking to you, you could never make eye contact, ever.
And it took a good 4 months to actually get me on the court. And I remember fell over, grazed my leg, went off crying. That was it. Didn't step back on a court for 5 months.
So the hat's got a little bit higher,
Over the years,
but the hat is still up. The hat is still on.
My coaches all around me have said right from the start that they thought that I had something special.
Was it 14 years?
Yeah, I was 6, so
15. Maybe coming up
to 15.
Coming up to 15.
I always believed that I could potentially make a living from it. When the sport goes from your hobby to your profession, and it definitely changes the relationship 100%. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I have had moments that I've thought about, you know, do I want to do this for the rest of my life? Like, you have to sacrifice a lot. Double gym now.
Double bubble.
But, you know, I don't think I could go more than 2 weeks without tennis in my life.
Sonny's route to the professional circuit isn't the only way in, with some players preferring a trip across the Atlantic.
And now please welcome a British rising talent, Arthur Ferry.
My name's Arthur Ferry. I'm a 20-year-old from Wimbledon and I play professional tennis.
My name's Alistair Gray. I'm a tennis player. I went to American University for a couple of years and now I'm playing on the tour.
Spent the past 3 years at Stanford University in San Francisco, California, working towards a degree in science, technology and society.
I went to Texas Christian University. I wasn't physically ready to go on the tour and make any kind of impact at that point.
Most of the guys who were top 10 and around my ranking in juniors went straight onto the pros, but I always had kind of college in my mind. I think the top end of college tennis is a lot higher than people think. I think it's top 200, top 300 level. It definitely prepares you to play on the big stage.
I worked hard at university, came out at 22, 23 around that time. Was much more ready for the tour at that point.
I reached #1 in college last year. Briefly, I finished #3 this year, playing only from January to May. So I feel like I've kind of reached the top, quote unquote, of college tennis. But yeah, I feel like my level's there and ready to transition onto the Pro Tour.
You know, everyone wants to be at the top, everyone wants to be #1, but you know, stuff happens out of your control. Injuries, I've been injured for the beginning part of the year. I'm starting to get back on it now. I think it's important for me to play a lot of matches. But yeah, what do they say? Prepare for the worst, hope for the best.
3.
Whilst Alistair and Arthur enjoyed time improving their game in the USA,
5.
Sonny is enjoying the benefits of early exposure and success on the Pro Tour, basing herself closer to home alongside the team
8.
at the LTA.
9, good slice.
I think I've come onto this kind of scene very fast and abrupt, which has kind of put me on that trajectory that I am on now. I've been able to, to play all the slams now, which is a big dream and something that 16 months ago wasn't even a realistic goal, so it wasn't even on the radar.
Next one, 15.
In clay court tennis, the pinnacle is the French Open. Roland Garros.
So you've never actually been to Roland Garros at all?
No, never
Crowds
have
are very passionate crowds. The crowds are very close to you.
I love the clay courts, and Paris itself I absolutely love.
13 for 2 on clay this season. When you lost to Saramkova, even in Bath on the hard, she won the event. Yeah. Then when you lost in Glasgow, that person won the event. And then you lost to Alves in thingy and she won the event. So the overall winner has been the person that's beaten you. And you've always gone the distance in 3 sets,
French Open qualifying round 1 and a world top 100 player, Victoria Krunchakova, awaits. All of Sonne's hard work has led to this.
Leading into it, I was so excited to go there. Everyone talks about the courts, obviously, so being able to go there with my coach, he's the coach that I started with. So for him to be able to come to all these slams with me, it was definitely a special moment for sure.
A dream start for Sonne, storming the first set.
Perfect length. Leaves Krunchakova staggering. The Slovak starting to look agitated here. That's too good.
3-love up in the second, and Sonne on the brink of a hugely significant win. Could she close it out?
I didn't get complacent. I didn't think I'd won it. She just played much better than I did for those games.
Krunchakova starting to impose herself in this match. Impressive from the Slovak. Kartel struggling here.
0-15.
Krunchakova serves T. Kartel forehand deep. Krunchakova with the forehand into the forehand of Kartel, which sails long. An extraordinary turnaround from Krunchakova, but bitter disappointment for Kartel.
The loss to me still stings. I think that one's always going to be a stinger. You can't lose your concentration for a second, because then they're just going to jump on that. I don't think I've ever lost a match from being a 10-5 2 up. The thing about tennis is there's always another tournament. So I think that definitely helps. You almost don't have time to kind of feel sorry for yourself and sulk a little bit, because you've got a sky scanner and you're flying to another country.
A vital learning experience for Sonne on her first trip to the French Open. For Alistair, meanwhile, back in competition on his journey back after injury, a trip to the Lexus Nottingham Tennis Centre. But straight away, a setback.
How'd you do that?
Yesterday in practice.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. So, I'm just going back to the NTC and get it scanned and stuff.
Oh yeah. How are you getting back?
My mum's coming actually.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I hope it's okay.
Thank you. Thanks for your help yesterday. Cheers. See you later, guys. Thanks.
An injury in practice, throwing a whole summer into doubt.
How did you do it again? What did you do?
I was just finishing a serve and then went to push off to my left and just rolled over the outside of it.
When you're competing at this level and pushing yourself, the margins are very small, aren't they?
Yeah.
This was literally one day of practice before you were competing. Just those things you've done millions of times, and it could come to anyone. Much doesn't always help. I've worked in sport a long time. You're quite together. You look like you're alright at the moment, but
it's just part of the sport, isn't it? I'm obviously not thrilled about it. I would have really liked to play this week.
Yeah. You've not had the roll of the dice this year, have you?
Not so far.
No. But still smiling.
Yeah.
At the moment.
Cheers.
Doubles as well, yeah, that's the thing you have to withdraw from both. Do that and then on.
Yeah. based on what the results were, which are in my case 2 ruptured ligaments. The team here at the LTA and outside consultants helped me make the decision to get surgery. That would leave me with 8 to 10 weeks left right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
One of the difficulties, especially with players recovering from injury, is to then stay injury-free.
Is that painful? No, it's only painful at this degree.
A lot of players get injured, shake off the injury and come back, can struggle to then deal with other injuries because of the increased load.
Ultimately, you need to rehab the physical injury, but more often than not, you also need to think about the mental health and the well-being of the player whilst they're rehabbing that injury.
You all right there? Yeah. Just be ready to grab a thing and not ready.
Just have your fingertips on it, mate.
Yeah, please.
It's important to give them a space to reflect and talk through how they're feeling, reminding them that they will come back and be able to play again. They just need to keep going through that.
Then you get me trying to go max deadlift.
Each little sign of improvement is what keeps you going and definitely makes you appreciate the game, realise how lucky you are. You know, even if I can't play this season, I'll be supporting all my friends, all the Brits who are playing, trying to pick up lots of different things that I can take into my own game for when I come back.
It's not always the most talented tennis players that succeed. It can be the ones with the greater mental fortitude.
All in all, Alistair Gray's ankle injury meant that he would miss the entire grasscourt season. But entering the autumn, there was light at the end of the tunnel as he worked with his team at the National Tennis Centre.
So we're going to use the protective ranking. We're going to start competing October 30th, right?
Yeah.
Do you have any idea what do you want to start playing?
Yeah, well there's the last domestic tournament in Sunderland.
Okay.
So I think that might be a good start.
That's indoors, right?
It's indoors.
It's been a tough year with injuries, being away from the court. Do you think that that's going to give you an edge over everyone else being away and building that fire?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Definitely come through a lot of tough moments this year.
Yeah.
And, you know, the surgery was one thing, but then getting back into the swing of things and then the knee just getting reconditioned to everything as well took a little bit more time than expected. But I think we're in the final stretch now. I feel like my body's in a better shape now than I was before the injury, so I'm coming back in a better position.
You getting ready to compete?
Yeah, really looking forward to getting back out and competing and getting on a plane wherever. I don't care where.
Fair enough. That's you.
With summer comes the grasscourt season, beginning with the Lexus Supercut Trophy and culminating with the 3rd Grand Slam of the year at Wimbledon. It's a time of particular significance for British players.
The grasscourt season is really important when you're a young, up-and-coming British player because there's opportunities to get into tournaments of a level that you may not necessarily get the chance to play at throughout the rest of the year.
I think us as British tennis players are the luckiest players in the world, I would say. We have a time frame where we're at home playing on the most incredible surface.
It's just a fantastic time to be able to be home, playing in your home country with home support, which, especially at the bigger events when you get a lot of fans, sometimes I don't think people realise how big of a difference that makes to events.
At the National Tennis Centre, anticipation is building for the start of the domestic grasscourt season. One of the Brits preparing in Roehampton is Eden Silva.
This week is on the grass training and then basically the first grass court tournament starts. So that'll be at Surbiton, which is local from here, so it's pretty good. I think we're on here.
So I was about 3.5, 4 years old actually, which when I tell a lot of people, they're surprised because I'm so young. But there was a local tennis club close to my house in East London. My parents wanted me to do something, get involved in some sort of activity over the weekend. So there was like a little mini tennis squad on the Saturday, so I started to get involved with that, and it sort of just progressed from there.
Legs are a bit sore from yesterday. No, just like first hit on the grass, you always feel it loads.
It was a good year last year. This year I struggled a little bit in terms of results, but to be honest, I am pretty happy to get off the dirt and start playing on the grass again, because it's not my favourite. Normal week, if you're not injured or anything, it's pretty much three hours of tennis a day, I'd say, like an hour and a half in the morning, hour and a half in the afternoon.
So like pretty bad. It's actually quite a good picture. Look at it, it's quite cute. Stop! How cute is that? Do one more? The lighting's not bad. What do you think, guys? Photo bomb from Jodie Burridge. Right, going in the gym now.
Always fitting in a gym session, mix up what you do in the gym as well. Like one day it'll be lower body strength, the next day it'll be upper body, then it's like on-court movement and fitness and stamina sort of thing.
Yes, I've got a killer bike session to do now. After a 2-hour tennis session, leg weights. He's thought to, leave it to the end. Leave it to the end, you thought. The toughest part. I'm sorry, can I just get my pictures? Priorities, okay? Getting my gym session disrupted. Pizza quality on airdrop. Come on.
I mean, it's great to have a base like this. You've got everything you need and more, to be honest, for an athlete. You've got great courts, an amazing gym, physio support, so all that kind of stuff does help. And even if you do bring your own team in, you've got all the facilities to use whenever you want, sort of thing. So it is a big help, and yeah, we're very appreciative of that.
9:30?
Yeah, could do early.
9:30, and then I just use that as my warm-up and go straight on.
Yeah.
Do you want to do that?
Me too hard.
Okay, yeah, let's do that then.
Right.
9:30, sweet. Perfect.
I'm going to take it match by match. You go on to the court every time you play a match, and you obviously go on and try to win it. But I think the main thing for me is just going out there, enjoying myself, not putting too much pressure on myself, making sure that, everything I've done in practice this week is going to give me the best opportunity and best chance to get good results in the upcoming tournaments. And if I can do that, then that's a success for me.
Also taking advantage of the grass courts at the National Tennis Centre, one of the most exciting doubles prospects in British tennis.
My name's Freya Christie, I'm 25 years old and I'm a professional tennis player.
Hi, I'm Ali Collins, I'm 23, I'm from Dunblane in Scotland and I'm a professional tennis player.
Our kind of partnerships just started a bit of a one-off, really.
You got sun cream on? No. You're gonna burn 100. Don't say that.
We were deciding to play the same event and we just messaged each other saying, do you want to play?
I've got a range of sun creams, yeah. I'm not sure I like the smell of that one.
Definitely for me, I'm not sure about if Ali feels the same, but I felt like we had a bit of a connection straight away on the court.
Can I get 10? 10? Yeah.
It's kind of just carried on from there.
We've always been friends as well. I think we've known each other for years. And I always looked up to Freya because she was a few years older. Sorry. So yeah, I always looked up to Freya and had a lot of respect for her. I knew she was a really hard worker, and yeah, I think as soon as we kind of started playing together, we really hit it off, and we work hard for each other, but also for ourselves, and we're out there doing battle for each other. So I think that's why it works.
Job done.
Southwest London, and time for the Lexus Surbiton Trophy. The grass court season is officially underway.
You need to go out there and get after the grass court season. You need to try and look at the positives of it and what a great opportunity it is for you to progress in your career, being around some of the the best players in the world and getting to play against them, get on the practice court with as many of them as you can as well, because you don't always get that opportunity at some of the lower level events. So yeah, even if it's match warm-ups, whatever, just be around them. Just try and take in as much as you can, and yeah, really make the most of it.
Before the tournament can begin, some players must qualify for the main draw. Amongst those, 20-year-old Brit Arthur Ferry.
Grass, I think, definitely suits my game. I've had quite a lot of success for the past 2 years. I like to come forward, come to the net quite a lot, hit flat, and it's one of the surfaces where I can really express myself and use my creativity to my advantage.
Rincon serves out wide, backhand reply from Ferry. The forehand is long from Rincon.
A strong start in the grass for Arthur, coming back to win by 2-1.
How was that?
Good, yeah, it was a tough match. Didn't start off too well, but got it done by the end. Got better and better.
Third set was strong, man.
Yeah,
Good.
Yeah, third set was good level, but
Very good.
a lot of stuff to work on, which is good.
Day one?
Yeah.
One more match stands between Arthur and the main draw, but an experienced opponent stands in his way. Fellow Brit Daniel Cox.
Ferry to serve.
A tight first set, with Arthur just edging it in the tiebreak.
Impressive maturity from Arthur Ferry.
The grass season for the Brits is the best time of the year. It's a great opportunity for us players who may be a little younger or haven't quite got the ranking yet to get into all the big tournaments on the ATP Tour. Really helps players like me to shape their career and model players that have come before us.
A strong start for Ferry, but Cox levels it up in the second and refuses to back down in the final set.
Match point Cox, serve goes out wide to the backhand, and it's just long from Ferry. One of the closest contests we have seen in Surbiton. And it is Dan Cox who moves through.
For Sonny Cartal, a new surface and a chance for instant revenge over a familiar opponent from the French Open.
Ranchakova serves tee, forehand deep, return from Cartal, and the follow-up forehand is too deep. Incredible turnaround. Bitter disappointment for Cartal.
The loss for me still stings. I think that one's always going to be a stinger. You can feel a bit of pressure being a British player playing in the grass events, at home in front of a British crowd. Well, I definitely put pressure on myself to perform well and to do well in each tournament.
And that will do it for Sonny Cartal. First victory of the grasscourt season and revenge for that crushing Roland Garros defeat.
What did you make of Victoria's performance out there?
Yeah, she hits a big ball. I think she can be really dangerous at grass. She's got a great serve. It was a tough match, so yeah, it's nice to get a bit of practice.
Good, yeah, really good, thank you.
Next on court in Surbiton, Ali and Freya, looking to kick off their grasscourt season.
Doubles as a sport, it is a high pressure, the match can be overturned in 1 point. We're so competitive, that's what we enjoy the most. And we just want to be in those situations, which is why I think we work quite well together.
Facing the second seeds in Surbiton, Freya and Ali took the first set.
It hinges on this. It's Collins with the off forehand return, volley exchange in the forecourt. Ranchakova seals it with the winner.
But ultimately, it's defeat in a tiebreak.
Tough draw to start their grasscourt campaign.
For Eden Silva, though, a better day.
How'd it go?
Yeah, we won dubs. So good
played.
first day in the office.
Have a good evening.
Bye.
Welcome to day 2 at the Lexus Surbiton Trophy.
The next day sees Eden take on fellow Brit Lily Miyazaki. Watching on, her boyfriend Liam Brodie.
We both understand what it takes and each other's lifestyle, which I think is a huge help. Obviously, a time like now where it's the grass season and we're both playing pretty much the same tournaments, it's a really nice time of the year, and we both really enjoy that time because we get to spend pretty much every day together. We do talk to each other about tennis, like if we've had a tough match or a tough loss, we try and be there for each other as much as we can and sort of give advice. When I come off and, I talk about the match a little bit, he can give me some advice and, tell me it's not as bad as I thought it was, which is always nice as well.
Eden will have to wait until next week's Rothsey Open Nottingham for another chance to kick off her season on the singles court. For Sonny, the tournament ends in round 2 and defeat to current British number 1 Katie Boulter, who goes on to reach the semi-finals. Joined there by fellow Brits Lily Miyazaki and Katie Swan,
Good luck in your next match. Thank you.
who would end the week as runner-up.
How was that?
Good, yeah.
Whilst in the men's draw, Andy Murray takes the title in Surbiton. The perfect preparation as the tour moves on to Nottingham.
The sport next is back, isn't it? The Nottingham Open. It started today at the Nottingham Tennis Centre and it goes on all the way till Sunday. You'll see a host of big names from all over the world competing.
As the grasscourt season picks up pace, the tests awaiting the Brits are set to get tougher as more and more of the world's top-ranked players descend on Nottingham for the Rothsey Open.
Very excited to be back in this tournament and looking forward to my match, of course. It's a great time to be in the UK. You guys know how to take care of your courts and I just like the fact that the grass is perfect.
Morning.
How are you?
Well, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Thanks, Heather.
You're welcome.
And for the Brits, those who didn't play in Surbiton reunite for the first time this summer.
Chang, Sophie Chang. I saw you playing with Zacharias again.
Yeah, I know. What are the chances?
I know, I saw it.
I've always loved playing in Nottingham. The courts are great. Get on the grass and you practice. Everyone's just in a great mood. Everyone's happy. Everyone's laughing.
Can't see the line.
Had a really good practice with Jodie. We're good friends. Also with Heather, we get on really well. It's just so nice because a lot of the time we're all in different places.
Everyone's around training with each other and that's really rare. For a British tennis player, it's just the best time.
Ladies and gentlemen, at the Rothsey Open, Nottingham.
I love it. This time of the year is unbelievable. Just playing it in front of home fans, they're cheering you on, it's a special feeling.
To be able to be home, playing in your home country with home support, especially at the bigger events when you get a lot of fans, sometimes I don't think people realise how big of a difference that makes.
You're going to get a lot of support out here in Nottingham. Do you look forward to that support and playing under such a good home crowd?
The crowd support can definitely pull you through and it can give you that extra little bit of energy that you need.
Perfect, thank you very much.
Sophia Kennan and Sonny Cartel.
For Sonny Cartel, the qualifying draw delivers a big hitter. Former Australian Open champion Sophia Kennan.
Nothing can beat that first feeling of walking onto a fresh grass court. It's like spongy under your feet.
Pretty brutal opener here for Sonny Cartel. Fellow Brits, including Jodie Burridge, watching on.
I'm a homey person, so I get to have that feeling of being at home, and it just means my family and friends, they can come and watch and they can come and support.
Cartel serves out wide to the backhand. Kennan staying close to the baseline but can't track down the forehand.
People would say I'm a closed book. Always have been, kind of keep my feelings to myself, keep myself to myself. I am in the process of trying to be more open and talk about my feelings.
And that is impressive from the Brit. A 6-2 first set, showing what she's about.
My expectation for myself is pretty high. I put pressure on myself because I expect the best of myself.
How will Kennan respond to this early break deficit? That is classy, gathering momentum as she levels at 5-all. Tense times for Coach Ben Reeves.
It's pressure I put on myself. I don't feel that from anyone else around me. It is all my doing and something I'm still trying to get better at and just finding ways to handle that.
Cartel up the court. She's got the forehand on top of the court. Forehand cross court and long from Kennan. Cartel moving into the second round of qualifying. And she's done it with victory in straight sets over the former world number 4. All smiles in the cartel camp.
When it gets to the big moments, I manage to kind of keep my head under pressure. I think that's also one of my biggest assets. You know, I seem to play some of my best tennis in that situation.
It's not only up-and-coming Brits who are taking to the Nottingham grass courts. With one of the biggest stars in tennis taking his place in the draw, time on centre court is at a premium.
Supposed to play on centre. How do you manage to keep your focus?
I mean, yeah, that's what happens when Sir Andy Murray plays the tournament.
But no matter on which court you play, an invaluable opportunity to step into the tennis spotlight awaits.
Great memories from the grass season over the years. You know, there's lots of pressure and loads of expectation, but you need to try and look at the positives of it and what a great opportunity it is to progress in your career.
The three-time Grand Slam champion may be the main attraction, but the Brits are in action across the event as qualifying continues. For Eden Silva, a win over Mexican Maria Zacharias sets up an all-British clash.
I've always enjoyed playing on the grass so much. It really does suit my game. Once you start playing well, you do pick up momentum and you get on a roll and your confidence just goes from here to there. I do think that there's more positives playing at home on the grass than there are negatives.
With the ups and downs, it can be a real emotional roller coaster through the year, and it's really nice to play in front of the British fans, you know.
So a Brit guaranteed to progress to the main draw in Nottingham, but who will it be? Harriet Dart getting us underway. Silva looking decent early on. Forehand cross court, and it's a winner from Dart. Tricky for Silva to face a higher ranked opponent who knows her so well. She's going to have to dig deep today.
In tennis, there's always some sort of pressure, whether it's pressure of performing at home in front of, you know, a lot of people you know and they're expecting you to do well because you're British, or whether you're defending points when then your ranking's going to drop. So there's always some sort of pressure.
Understandable frustration as she loses what is ultimately a one-sided opening set.
As I've played many years, you kind of get used to the added pressure and you can control that experience.
This is match point. Serve out wide to the backhand. Silva lines up for the forehand, but miscues. And it is Harriet Dart moving into the main draw. Her determination just too strong a wall for Silva to drill through on this occasion.
Going to lose way more matches than you're going to win. It's the harsh reality of it, and I think once you accept that, you can pick yourself up quicker when you do have those tough losses. And you know, the light at the end of the tunnel is there is a match next week, and you've got another chance to go out there and be better and win.
Lessons to learn for Eden Silva as she heads on to the Rothsey Classic in Birmingham. For Arthur Ferry, who was given a wild card into the main draw, it's straight down to business. A first-round clash with veteran American and former world number 21, Steve Johnson, on centre court.
I think it's definitely to my advantage that I haven't really played on the tour for the past 6-7 months. I won't have played many of these players and they won't have played me, so it'll be to my advantage for sure, and the grass season hopefully will go well for me.
He's the favourite by ranking for this one, Steve Johnson, but he will know not to underestimate a young Brit on the grass. Ferry doesn't take the set, but he does take the knowledge that he has the weapons to do damage out here.
My goals in the past have been a lot based on improvements, not really ranking, but you kind of look at the rankings, and right now I'm sitting around 400 coming out of college, so the first steps to get into the Grand Slam qualifying, which means you need a ranking of about 230, 240 in the world.
Big statement from Ferry, staying in it mentally at the beginning of the second set. Oh, that's a great shot.
Ultimately, a good goal to set myself next 2-3 years would be to reach the top 100. I think with a lot of hard work, consistency, I can achieve that goal.
Johnson with the lob. Ferry's following it. He's at the baseline. He takes the backhand down the line. Sensational winner from Ferry to wrap up the game. That is quite the move.
A dominant second set from Ferry. But with all the momentum in his favour, the British weather intervenes.
Ladies and gentlemen, due to safety, play is suspended. Maybe this time, perhaps retreat to the bar, get yourself something nice.
Arthur's Nottingham debut will stretch into a second day. Before Arthur could continue his story in Nottingham, Sonny Cartal was continuing hers as she stepped onto court against Elena Gabriela Russa.
Cartal looking good early on in this match with the number 8 seed. The Brit is serving. Russa now scrambling with the forehand. Oh, she's down. Oh, she's hit the deck. Russa and looks in some discomfort. Chair umpire has come to check on her.
An injury to her opponent could present an opportunity for Sonny, but she would need to keep her focus to progress.
You can't lose your concentration for a second. It helps if you go point by point, and then it just makes it much easier to kind of navigate through the match that way.
Cartal kick serves into the forehand and gets set for the backhand slice, and Russa, it really still seems to be struggling with that injury.
There are some players who absolutely thrive on the excitement. They love the attention. But for other players, there is added pressure. There's no denying that when grass court season comes around, it affects everyone in one way or another.
Match point here, Russa serves into the forehand of Cartal, and that's a clean return winner. The Brit has qualified for a WTA main draw for the first time.
Once you're done with your match, it's a lot about, focusing on recovery for your next match, a bit of maintenance for your body.
You've got to be able to go back-to-back days. That's something quite unique in tennis, where we play every day and it could be any time of the day. There's no specific routine to it, so we have to be prepared for anything. The robustness with our body is very important.
For the entire week, you have to be on it, whether it's with your sleep recovery, what you eat, with your warm-ups, obviously with the playing the matches, you have to be in that top 1% of yourself to win the event.
All you really need is 1 or 2 really good weeks, and you can propel yourself so many spots up in that rankings.
A third match in as many days for Sonny sees her take on world number 77, Magdalena Freck, in the first round of the main draw. Despite showing real fight to level the match in the second set, the freshness of her opponent eventually tells, with Sonny losing out in 3 sets.
Not to be for Cartal today, but she'll be proud of her week in Nottingham, particularly of that win over Cannon in qualifying.
As Sonny reflects on a disappointing result, Arthur will be hoping to avoid the same fate as he prepares to step back onto centre court.
There's a lot of downtime in tennis, especially during tournaments.
It's hot today, isn't it?
So warm, mate. Overnight delays are weird. So I was just hanging around. I kind of knew I wasn't going to play. I just got to wait. Tennis is a sport of adaptation anyway. You just come out with a lot more energy. You've only got 1 set max to play, so you can afford to just expend some energy and kind of pump yourself up.
And we'll be introducing you to players very, very shortly. The is for Steve Johnson.
Held up for almost 24 hours. Welcome back to centre court, culmination of this contest.
Tried to come out with a lot of energy and a bit of fire in my step.
Well, the thunderstorms have cleared, but that was a bolt of lightning off the racket of Arthur Ferry.
Got going pretty quick and managed to break him at 2-all.
He's come out here a man on a mission. There is an air of purpose around the Brit. And that will do it. Some resumption to this match for Arthur Ferry.
Did you do your rank? I'd say I was like 400, probably 380, something like that. 382.
Oh my word. He's landed one to set up match points.
Is that a big deal yet? It's a milestone. I wouldn't say it's a big deal because I think I can do a lot better. My tennis represents a lot better than 380 the world.
It's not just good, it's very good from this man. Arthur Ferry taking out the former champion to move into round 2.
Feel good?
Yeah, it's good.
It's a long road ahead, but I'm really excited for the journey and we'll try to progress. Hopefully it will go well for me.
As Arthur headed into the autumn, his form was gathering momentum. 2 victories over a player with a career-high world ranking of 7 David Goffin, and a first ATP Challenger final in October. The reward, a new career-high ranking inside the world top 300.
For the British players on the grass, that is a hot pot of pressure, and if you can learn to sort of perform with it and use those benefits to your advantage, it can be really difficult to stop. Over the last few years, we've had a lot of players go on really good runs.
And in Nottingham this year, that success continued, with 6 Brits reaching the quarter-finals, including a record 4 in the women's draw.
Jodie Burridge, very well played.
Harriet Darts, what lies in wait?
Richly deserved. Into the quarterfinals. Heather Watson, that was awesome.
Thank you. It's absolutely incredible. So nice to see everyone doing so well. We all work really hard with each other, and also not only on the court, everyone's, they're great people, and it's just nice to see them doing really well.
And it is quarterfinal number 3 here in Nottingham. The home favourite is 3.
Hello and welcome to a very sunny West London. My favourite time of year because the Cinch Championships at the Queen's Club are upon us.
Yeah, the business end of the grasscourt season now, and I mean, how good was Nottingham for the Brits?
It's Andy Murray again, a winner here in Nottingham for the first time in his career.
Katie Bolter, first main tour title in front of her own fans.
It's absolutely incredible. So nice to see everyone doing so well. We all work really hard with each other, and it's just nice to see them doing really well.
And the grasscourt swing is off to the perfect start.
My name's Ryan Penniston and I'm a professional tennis player. I started playing tennis at 3 years old. My dad, he played a bit of tennis, so he just got me into it, in the back garden and the local tennis club in Southend. I definitely don't come from a tennis family. I mean, my dad got into it in his 30s. I just started playing and ended up being decent at it. So kept playing and grew to love it.
It's been a remarkable journey for Ryan Penniston, from overcoming a rare form of cancer as a child to becoming one of the top 150 male tennis players in the world.
The illness that I had when I was younger had a massive impact on me and my dad and my whole family. It made us closer, definitely, because it made us realise things can be lost quite easily. We're a really close family, and me and my dad have a special bond, on and off the court. I mean, he coached me from the age of 3 to recently 2 years ago. He's inspired me a lot, and he sacrificed a lot for me to get to where I am now. So yeah, I'm very grateful for his role in my career.
Please welcome, from Great Britain, Ryan Penniston.
The grass season last year was amazing. I was able to get some of my first wins over top 100 players.
The world number 5. Please welcome, from Norway, Casper Ruud.
To play against Casper on that stage was like a dream. To make the quarterfinals in Queens and Eastbourne, and then was able to play my first ever main draw singles at Wimbledon, and managed to win a match there as well. So yeah, it was a roller coaster, and I'll never forget it.
He is absolutely flying. This is the best he's ever played.
Going through that match point, kind of your heart rate is through the roof. You're just trying to focus on a few things.
And there it is. What a day in the sun at Queens for Ryan Penniston. Victory over the number 1 seed Casper with the world number 5.
When the umpire calls the match and it's over and everyone's clapping, it's definitely a blur. You try and take in what's happening, but yeah, it all kind of just went pretty fast.
Now he can celebrate the greatest day in his tennis career.
The home crowd obviously does make a big difference. I think it's also the opportunity is what also makes the biggest difference. And so many of the players that are playing at just below tour level are really really good players. So I'm sure if guys like Ryan Penniston were given the opportunity to play at tour level throughout the year, they would regularly have big wins.
He has it. Look at celebration from Ryan Paniston. And now they rise down. Britain through to the quarterfinals. It's not Dan Evans, it's not Cam Norrie, not Andy Murray. Ryan Paniston into the last 8 here. What a moment for him.
It feels like really, really nice to come back to the tournament. Just like, you know, stepping through the doors into the players' lounge, it's just all those feelings come back, and it's really, really nice. Yeah, it was something that I'll never forget that week. It was crazy but amazing.
Have a good day, Chef.
Cheers.
Thanks a lot.
I love it. This time of the year is unbelievable. Just playing in front of home fans. As a tennis player, you're travelling every week, and you know, sometimes you might not get that many people watching, but when you're playing at home and you know there's tons of home fans that are cheering you on, it's a special feeling.
Yeah, good. You got them all. You got them all here today. Freddie and Jules are here. Yeah. Ed's here.
Oh, they're all here.
Yeah, everyone's here today. Yeah.
The Essex lot. Let's go.
Good luck. Good to see you. And you. Good luck today, mate.
Before Ryan can step out in front of the home crowd, there's another Brit about to take his first steps on these West London grass courts.
Good morning.
Morning, mate.
I'm Billy Harris from the Isle of Man, and I'm 28 years old and currently ranked 311. The grass season was great, really. Started off training with Andy. That gave me a bit of confidence after practicing with him. The challenges, I had a couple of good wins here and there, and then I was lucky enough to get a wild card into Queen's qualifying. I drew Lestien, who was 65 in the world first round. It was a tricky match. I mean, he's so unpredictable in how he plays.
Lestien taking advantage of the opportunity to serve first here, looking to impose himself. The service from Lestien. Harris with the forehand down the line. He's moving up the court. The volleys into the net. Doesn't go his way. Still looking for answers. Lestien with the serve to the backhand of Harris, and it's just not going the Brits' way right now.
First set, I went down 6-3 and then managed to find a bit more rhythm and went for my shots a bit more, and he lost his head a little bit at the same time, which helped.
As these rallies lengthen, there's a sense that Harris is starting to find his feet and also getting under his opponent's skin.
Just fought for the third set and managed to get the win in 3 sets.
Harris serves T to the forehand, and that return is sailing long. It's a career best win for Billy Harris to see him into the second round of qualifying.
Glad to get that last game. It was up and down, but got there.
An unusual story coming out of this year's Cinch Championships after world number 14 Tommy Paul and former champion Grigor Dimitrov, who share an agent, were not entered for the event due to an administrative error. Both will therefore have to play 2 qualifying matches to reach the main draw.
Played Tommy Paul second round, which was a bit unexpected as he was 14 in the world at the time, I think. In the first set I had a slow start. I could feel his level and consistency straight away.
Harris getting burned at the baseline, the kind of level you'd expect from an opponent who made the semi-finals of a Grand Slam tournament earlier this season. Not the cleanest backhand, but a quality set from Tommy Paul, underlining his level at the beginning of this match.
The second set, I also had a poor start to that.
Not for lack of effort, but no real change of fortunes for Harris in this second set. It's all Tommy Paul.
Managed to get it back, made a bit of a match out of it, but yeah, it was a tough ask to beat him.
So a straight sets win for Tommy Paul in a match he probably wasn't expecting to play. Not to be for Billy Harris on this occasion, but he'll surely have learnt a lot from his higher ranked opponent.
Great experience to play someone that high up in the rankings. Glad that I got to play him. I think that helps me going into Wimbledon qualifying.
No place in the main draw for Billy, but for Ryan, the world number 37, Hugo Humbert, awaits.
It's a big opportunity to play good players and to have the home support as well. It definitely gives you that chance to bring out your best tennis.
Ryan Peniston, very, very impressive so far.
For the British players on the grass, that is the hot pot of pressure, and you have to learn to manage these things. You have to learn to perform with it and use those benefits to your advantage. It can be really difficult to stop.
Draws the mistake again and has that break. And has a toe in the second round at Queen's here. Wide from Hugo Humbert, and Ryan Peniston is doing it again at Queen's Club. What a happy place this is for him. A place of sunshine and smiles, and a handshake at the net, and another big scalp taken.
We've definitely seen the belief and the smile that comes out when you win. What is making that difference to you, do you think, particularly when it comes to grass courts?
I mean, the home fans, I think, and the environment just...
Well, it was a fantastic performance. 6-4, 6-2, beating the world number 37. Ladies and gentlemen, Ryan Peniston.
Thank you.
Yeah, feel great. Feels great to be through to the second round here at Queen's, and yeah, and enjoyed a lot being out there in front of the fans and on the grass. So it was an amazing day.
Well done, huh? Well done, mate. Warmed it up for me out there, huh?
Whilst there's no women's draw at the Cinch Championships, the WTA competitions continue across the LTA's summer calendar, with events in Nottingham, Birmingham and Eastbourne. And it was a grasscourt season to remember for new British number one, Katie Boulter, winning her first WTA title in an all-British final in Nottingham. This headline-grabbing win meant she was in demand with the world's media as she arrived on the south coast.
And can you reflect on that amazing week in Nottingham and sort of talk us through how things clicked into place for you?
Yeah, it was a crazy week for many different reasons. Obviously, I had no expectations going into it.
And Boulter books her place in the semi-finals here in Nottingham.
I'd been given British number one at this point on the Monday, and I wanted to live up to expectations, and I had a lot of British players to play.
And Boulter has booked her place in her first ever main tour final. And she's done it here at a home tournament.
Sometimes that can be difficult, and sometimes you can take it in your stride, and that week I took it in my stride and worked really hard and found a way to win.
A week that Katie Boulter will never forget. Her first main tour title in front of her own fans. It simply does not get any better than that, and that is a lovely moment.
It was a very special feeling because it was Nottingham and it was my home tournament, so it doesn't get any better than that.
And I mean, it must be such an incredible time to be a British tennis player at the moment. All of these incredible tournaments. How does that feel?
Yeah, I mean, we're super lucky, and I think we're all very grateful for the opportunities that we get, and hopefully I can go out there and play well.
The highlight for British fans today is a second round meeting between Ryan Peniston and world number 6, Holger Rune. Could we be looking at another upset by last year's quarter-finalist?
Bro, it's warming up my opponent. What's that about? What's that about? Come on, bro. Done me in.
Come on, Ryan. Let's go, buddy. Let's go, Ryan. Come on, buddy. Let's go.
Please welcome from Great Britain, Ryan Peniston.
Holger Rune to get us underway. Stiffer task today for Ryan Peniston.
Holger served really well today. I didn't really get much look into any of his service games. He seemed pretty composed, and yeah, hats off to him. He seems to have improved quite a few bits of his game. The more matches I get to play against these guys at that level is a positive for me. So to try and get used to that level, used to playing those guys is great, and just makes me want to do it more.
Peniston serving, he sends the kicker into the backhand of Rune, backs off for the off forehand, and Rune already on the stretch as Peniston moves up the court. He dips the volley, he's ready for another. Oh, he likes that one, what a winner! Peniston with the serve into the forehand of Rune, chopped back deep. He's recovered positioning at the baseline. The backhand from Rune into the forehand of Peniston. Down the line, Rune responds. Peniston stretched off the court. Rune with the drop shot. He's closing behind it. Peniston's raced up the court. Here's the lob. He has to back off. Oh, it lands and he won't track it down. That is total class from Holger Rune. He's a top player of the moment, and he's the top player of the day. Holger Rune a step too far for Ryan Peniston.
I was happy with how I competed, my attitude I was pleased with, how I fought. Yeah, sometimes, it just doesn't go the way you want, and hats off to Holger. He played a clean match today.
He's good, especially on grass. He moves you a lot, so I had to be strong on the sides, but as I've been willing to work on my movements a lot on the grass this year, I just feel very comfortable and happy on how I could handle the situation.
No return to the quarter-finals for Ryan this year, but for Billy Harris, there's a chance to rub shoulders with some of the greats.
If you're hanging around somewhere like Queen's and you're out of the tournament, you can put your name down on a sheet. You just get a text message saying Dimitrov wants to practice or Alcaraz needs to warm up.
Being around some of the best players in the world and getting to play against them, it's an invaluable experience. So get on the practice court with as many of them as you can as well, because you don't always get that opportunity at some of the lower level events. So yeah, even if it's match warm-ups, whatever, just be around them. Just try and take in as much as you can, and really make the most of it.
Hitting with Alcaraz was obviously great to hit with number one in the world. It was pretty funny because he mentioned the match when I played him in, I think it was 4 years ago in his last Futures tournament. I had match point and I think I hit a forehand somewhere near the back fence and ended up losing it in 3 sets. He asked me if I remembered it and I was like, yeah, I remember it. It's just great to hit with those guys. I'm not going to get any better hits than that. It was worth hanging around the locker room and got some good practicing.
Are you aiming for me?
I'm Ben Bartram, I'm from Norwich and I play wheelchair tennis. I'm currently ranked number 17 in the world. I used to play wheelchair basketball. I stopped playing that for a bit because I was really bad in the team environment. I used to lose my head all the time and I'd blame my teammates for all the losses. My parents made that decision that I wasn't cut out for it. After that, I didn't play any sport for about a year and then I heard about Alfie.
Alfie!
I'm Alfie Hewitt, I'm 25 years old and I'm a professional wheelchair tennis player. I'm a 3-time silver Paralympic medalist and a 23 Grand Slam champion. Wait, it is 23, right? It is 23.
I saw him at the Paralympics getting 2 silver medals and that just inspired me to start playing.
We're in Villamora, Portugal for the World Team Cup, which is the wheelchair equivalent of the Davis Cup or Billie Jean King Cup. And here we have centre court, which is where we will be on Sunday for the men's final. Friends with everyone, really. Everyone's friends with each other. First set, Martin. The second set, 4-3 to Alwande. I played juniors with Oda, and he's now on number 2. Yeah, he's a little bit insane. I played him in the World Team Cup final in 2021, and I lost to him. Yeah, I'll get my own back one day. I've just got to be world number 1.
I think he's really coming out of his shell, especially in this last year. He's recently really developed in his game, and to a level now that we can train together and we really test each other.
Who can bench press more, you or Alfie?
Me.
And who's winning on a tennis court, you or Alfie?
I don't know, I haven't played him in a while.
Oh, yeah.
I've been around him since I started playing, so it's made it easier to form a connection with him.
Don't walk into the pole.
I see a lot of similarities with his mindset and mentality with his life as well, to where I was when I was 16, 17. So, I think we obviously have a lot in common, and we can talk all things Norwich and Norfolk, and he's got obviously some good tennis potential, but it's important, especially in events like World Team Cup, that it's a good group, good people to be around. Ben, you look really good on camera right now.
Do I?
Yeah.
I'm learning lots of new stuff, being with Alfie and Gio and everyone else on the team. You'll pick up so much experience and see little tips and tricks that they do and what makes them elite and the best in the world. Film star.
The effect that they've had has been massive. You look at Alfie last year at Wimbledon, on court 1, it was just unbelievable.
And that is some reception.
I think that match in itself has brought so much more attention to wheelchair tennis.
Game, set, a match. Here it is.
And Gordon got the gold medal in Rio. He was leading the sport for a long time, and he definitely inspired many people to pick up a racket and play.
He's 17 years old, he's top 20 now in the rankings, so he's doing a lot of good things. Last year was sort of his breakthrough year, I'd say.
Winning the US Open was massive for me. That was the first ever junior Grand Slam, and to win it is, that's down in history forever. Gave me confidence going forward, cementing myself at the top of the juniors. That was my first ever experience at a Grand Slam, something that I'll be grateful for forever.
He's got a big game. His forehand's one of the biggest on tour. Obviously incredibly quick as well. He's got good speed. He's got power in every one of his shots. It's great to have those big shots and big forehands and be able to pull it off, but when you're deep in a third set perhaps, or you're in a Grand Slam final and the nerves are getting to you, you've got to be able to have other tools to maybe get you through those moments.
Oh, why have I done that?
He will learn that for sure with time and experience.
Patriotic, long live the king and that.
I'm really happy that I managed to find wheelchair tennis for myself, and it's opened up so many opportunities for me, and it's really given me a purpose in my life.
As Ben takes his first steps into the professional game, another Brit has an opportunity to reach a Grand Slam main draw, the pinnacle of the sport and a world away from his first steps on the tennis ladder.
After juniors, I started playing futures, and at the start, I didn't have the money for flights, paying for flights every week, so I thought easiest way to get around Europe is on wheels. Got a Ford Transit van. My dad helped me fit the van out with a bed in the back. I had my stringer machine, a little cooker that I used to take outside the van. Stocked up at Aldi on the way to Dover. Some weeks in the van were obviously colder than others. When I was in France, the first few weeks of being in the van, it was snowing outside. I'd be waking up and scraping the ice off the inside of the van. My olive oil that I used for my fry-up was all frozen solid. It was a bit of a wake-up call. I had to get somewhere a bit warmer pretty quick. Travelling from Portugal to Poland, back to Germany, France. Covered some mileage in the van. It was good times.
Today sees the first round 2 matches take to the court at Wimbledon's qualifying tournament. 128 players remain across the men's and women's draws, each looking to secure a place at the championships.
Coming into Wimbledon qualifying, I was feeling good. Played and practiced with top guys, so that definitely helped. In the second round, I played Hugo Gaston. He was a player that I'd never played before, and I don't think I've played anyone quite like his game style. He was very fast, very skillful. Such an awkward player. In the first set, I didn't really know what was going on.
Tricky start to this contest. Harris struggling to figure his opponent out.
He was hitting so many drop shots, slicing the ball, getting everything back in court. Going into the second set, I knew I needed to be a bit more aggressive. I started to work out his serve was coming in at a weird angle. I think he hit something like 20 drop shots and didn't miss one. Had to play a good match to come back and win that one.
Triple match point for the non-seeded Brit. That is a monumental triumph. Billy Harris into the final round of qualifying.
What's your plan now?
Stretch, eat, recover and get the body ready for tomorrow. So I'm pretty stiff after that. I might go and get in an ice bath so I don't start cramping.
With Billy 1 match away from stepping up to a Grand Slam, Ben is also looking to step up his level as he prepares to take on much more experienced opponents.
I'm currently playing at the British Open, which is a Super Series event. It's 1 level below a Grand Slam, so you have all the best players in the world playing here. Yeah, I'm here hoping to, have a big result against a very good player.
What's it now, Ben? We've been here 4 years?
Yeah. 4 years? 4 years then?
I looked a lot younger when I started.
Ben's first Lexus British Open on the Pro Tour starts with a match against Frenchman Nicolas Jarrier.
Just go and play. Yeah? Just go and be you.
And a mature and measured performance sees Ben win convincingly in straight sets.
A solid performance from Ben Bartram to get his Lexus British Open campaign underway.
Ben, well done. How was that performance out there today for you?
Yeah, the performance was good. I'm happy with the way that I played. It's my first hardcourt match in quite a while, so it took a couple of games to get used to it again. But yeah, I'm happy with the way that I'm playing going forward into my next round.
How did you feel out there? Were you all right? Yeah?
A positive start.
That's good then.
But the second round presents a formidable opponent.
In the second round, I played Gustavo Fernandez, who's a pretty stacked Argentinian guy. I've played him before, so I know how he plays. I've watched him loads.
It's a good start for Ben, taking a 2-love lead. But soon, his opponent's experience starts to show.
No, that's not landing. Fernandez showing his level and experience, and that's naturally getting under Bartram's skin. Too much on the Bartram forehand.
Yeah, I think I've still got a couple more years until I'm going to be able to beat him, because he's a little bit too good at the minute for me.
He's competing at the top end of the game now and not getting as many wins as he probably was previously. I know he's a competitive kid and you can see the emotion when he plays.
One thing I've learned is that hitting the ball hard definitely doesn't result in winning. So yeah, in the last couple of years I've sort of had to tame myself a little bit and take a bit of pace off the ball.
Well, he's targeting it, wasn't he?
After a disappointing result, Ben sits down with his coach Neil to discuss the match.
So I made some notes, some things to do on that, because we've got to go back and just work, we've got to get that right.
Yeah, well, what was there to do? Like, I feel like I've literally done everything I can possibly do.
because I'm young, I sort of want everything now, and I'm very impatient with it, and I want to win now.
I've tried different grips, tried different positions, tried literally everything, and it just feels so uncomfortable. And that's like what it feels like when I go into practice, or from practice to a match. Everything just feels so uncomfortable and unnatural.
In a match compared to practice?
I never really dwell on losses for too long. I watch the match back, and I can see where it is I'm going wrong, and then I'll also watch matches of Alfie or Gordon against Gustavo and see what they do differently to beat him.
Started off and did everything we said. Thought okay. And then your movement got a little static, but then if you said you got tight, that's probably why. Was it tight because you were winning? Okay. That's again, I know it's experience, but it is just, okay, we'll just keep doing what we're doing, not worry about what the score is. No, exactly, but it is only 2, then do it again for 3, do it again for 4.
I've got to trust that it's a process, and I'm not going to get there overnight, and I'm going to have to work very hard for it.
For Billy Harris, the hard work continues too, as he finds himself 1 win away from a place in the Wimbledon main draw.
When I woke up in the morning for the final round qualifying, I was obviously a bit nervous. It's always been a dream to play at Wimbledon. After the second round win, I started to get quite a lot of text messages through. I just stay off my phone and keep it simple, focus on my game. I'd never played a 5-set match before.
Final qualifying match for the Championships Wimbledon.
I got a couple tips off some of the other guys, like don't rush the first set, don't think that you've got to change anything too quick because it's a long match. He was serving big all match. High percentage first serve. I think he was having a very good day himself. The second set, I took him to a tie-break. I had a little chance in the second set.
Harris fighting hard to stay in this match. Medjedovic has too much for the Brit. It's 2 sets to love.
I was trying to obviously drag it out to a 4th set.
Match point number 3 gets Medjedovic into the main draw.
Yeah, he just served his way through the match and had a bit too much for me on the day. Overall, from the grass season, I took away some confidence and just realising that, you know, the top level, they're obviously a long way off in points, but the level when I'm actually playing against those guys is it's not too far off. Just made me hungrier to keep grinding away on the Challenger Tour, trying to get up to that level and play Grand Slams again.
Whilst the qualifying tournament was a springboard for Billy's rise up the rankings, it was a Wimbledon to remember for local boy Arthur Ferry.
Little girl sandwich, woke up a bit late. It's my birthday actually today.
Leading out Daniel Medvedev onto number 1 court at Wimbledon.
I've had a few days now to reflect on it, and it was a great experience. I couldn't really have expected much of a better kind of moment playing one of the top guys on a big court. And obviously being here at Wimbledon at home, it's nice. I had so much support, yeah, so many friends coming to watch me, so that was really special as well. It definitely felt surreal at the start. Definitely felt a bit weird, a bit out of place. But then the whole thing becomes a bit of a green screen around you and you focus on the court. Pretty proud of how I played, and one of the biggest day in my career so far. Definitely positive and a good indicator that maybe it's time to move on to the Pro Tour.
There you go.
There you go, 12th of July. It's my birthday present. Birthday girl.
And Arthur's post-Wimbledon confidence was well-founded. An impressive second half of 2023 would see him record consecutive victories over former world number 7 David Goffin and reach his first ATP Challenger final on the way to a career-high ranking.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Villamora Tennis and Paddle Academy for the 2023 World Team Cup.
The World Team Cup is a team event. It's the only one in the wheelchair calendar. Tennis is so individual that it's quite nice to have something different in the year. It's not often I'm sitting there supporting Gordon in a singles match.
A significant challenge awaits for Alfie and the team in the final. 6-time World Team Cup men's champions and current holders the Netherlands, their opponents.
It's been amazing to be able to play alongside those guys and have them both as massive role models.
Egbering with the slice deep, Reader's up to it, digs out his own slice.
Yes, Gio! Being around them definitely helps. They've just been really great to me in my career so far.
Let's go, Gio!
With Gordon victorious, the British team find themselves one win away from becoming world champions. And with Gordon carrying a slight injury, team captain Martin Waite calls on Ben to prepare in case the tie goes to the deciding doubles match.
You're going to warm up with Alex. Yep. Make a decision when he's been assessed.
Martin spoke to you about warming up here? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Now, we, of course, as role models in wheelchair tennis, look after our own ones and mentor them and try and help them learn and grow. It's important to me.
That second to last point, ridiculous. When you were like out here and he had the smash, oh, that was nuts.
I've gone from being a huge fan of Alfie to competing with him.
How's he pulled that one out, eh?
It's just great, and that's definitely a massive motivation to me to, one day be able to beat these guys.
As Ben warms up, Alfie takes to the court for what could be the deciding match.
Really tense contest early on here.
Not many people have the opportunity to be playing around those guys, so I'm using every minute as valuable experience and taking in as much from it as I possibly can.
Yes, Al. Let's go, Al. Here we go.
You want to do your country proud, you're putting on the GB shirt, and representing your country is a big deal.
It all comes down to this, a championship point. And there it is, Great Britain's men are World Team Cup champions.
It's a special feeling to win the World Team Cup, to step up to the occasion and perform well and bring back the trophy is what everyone in the team wants.
We did everything right.
That tournament has definitely given myself lots of confidence. Playing with those guys is a confidence booster in itself. Words can't describe it, it was just unreal.
As the week goes, it was a pretty spectacular one for GB. The men's and the juniors won the gold and the women's narrowly missed out on a bronze. So a successful week for the nation, just shows the sort of influence that the LTA and what good work's doing for British tennis, and we're in a strong position and there's a good future ahead.
This year has just been a massive year of learning for me. It's really motivated me to keep pushing and just keep going for it, and I look forward to see what next year brings.
Your time is going to be there and I can't wait to see it, all right? Can't wait to see it.
My goals would be to beat another top 10 player. I would also like to play in another Grand Slam next year, whether it be Australia, Roland Garros, Wimbledon or US Open.
Very good.
Just want to beat the best players, really.
For Ben and all of Britain's game-changing tennis stars, world ranking will endure as the benchmark that grabs headlines. But their journeys so far represent much more than just a number. The rewards for work on and off the court might not be seen today or tomorrow.
I like what they see.
But the drive to keep training, pushing and committing ensures that their stories will continue to be written.
Gracias.
Brilliant.
Lovely job. Awesome.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Cheers for that.
In one take.
Hopefully it comes out alright.
No, never.